See this man? He's blind and carries a stuffed animal with him everywhere he goes. He's sitting on the sidewalk outside an ICE facility. He's not over the line. He's just sitting there taking in the sounds when this happens.
Blind. He is blind. And you just dropped him.
They put their foot or something on my back and some part of them on my neck. Being dragged across the ground when you can't see what's happening around you.
Here are a few more ICE attacks.
Con las manos arriba de la cabeza. Sal para afuera, sigue caminando. Con las manos en nosotros, sal para afuera. Eso, sal para afuera, sigue. I'm underpaid. Your son, I'm underpaid. We're from the United States, bro. To school, bro. I was going to school.
Hey, so he's refusing to give the ID.
That's all right.
I'm American citizen, you're living. God damn it, boy.
I'm being very polite, am I?
Okay, just get out of here. I have to go work, bro.
Stop!
Yep, they're breaking the window. They're...
And we called the police. The police came and they do, well, nothing. Couldn't do anything because they said that it's federal.
These two had actually been in the country for about 30 years and did not have criminal history.
Don't touch it.
She's boring here.
Don't touch her. If you touch her, you're gonna have problems. People, that's what you do. See how you have the kids.
Alerta, no salgan, quédense en su casa. No salga toda la familia junta, no traigan los niños. Porque estos desgraciados los están dejando. A la buena de Dios. No.
You can hear the excruciating pain in the cry of Ricardo Rodriguez as this ICE agent choked and punched him during an unlawful arrest that rendered the 53-year-old victim hospitalized.
He was on his way home from going grocery shopping on his bike, and that's when they attacked him, and they pulled him by under the truck, put him in a chokehold, and they started repeatedly punching him in the face.
When this happened?
My uncle was not resisting at all. You can see in the video, he's struggling to breathe. They say they're going for the criminals, but they're going for the hardworking people. There was two men outside the door, not in uniform or anything, dressed like normal people, and he went to the nurse to have her escort us out by security. He almost went into cardiac arrest. He started getting chest pains. The nurse called my mom in the morning, and she says that they were gonna do they were gonna call a cardiologist in, but she couldn't speak to her brother. They wouldn't let her.
Agents are reportedly waiting to once again abduct and attempt to deport Rodriguez.
ICE is blocking the floor. ICE is not letting people go in. Ricardo Rodriguez, there is no warrant for his arrest. And if there's no warrant for his arrest, what do we know? Set him free. If there's no warrant for his arrest, what do we do? Set him free!
As of 2:47 p.m. today, November 3rd, 2025, Stephanie Swain, Mr. Rodriguez's niece, has informed us that the hospital quietly sent him up with pain medication and did not provide any further info to the family regarding where he's been taken.
This next video is very disturbing, like more disturbing than the other ones, because ICE actually opened fire on an innocent man, killed him, and then lied about it. Just watch.
As I previously covered just a day ago, an ICE agent in the Franklin Park neighborhood outside of Chicago shot and killed a single father of two named Silverio Villegas Gonzalez during a traffic stop just minutes after he dropped his children off at school. The official narrative from DHS, as you can see here, asserts that the officer who killed Villegas Gonzalez, quote, feared for his life when he was being dragged a significant distance by a car, while also claiming that the officer was seriously injured in the line of duty. Well, we now have body cam footage from a Franklin Park police officer obtained by multiple local media outlets.
The man who fired the shots, who claimed he was his life was in danger, he barely suffered any injuries.
Just a left knee injury and some right Nothing major.
The detective that showed up on scene wasn't allowed to investigate or ask any questions.
No, because it's a federal shooting. They're not going to investigate a federal officer.
The evidence in this footage should be enough to cast serious doubt not only on the version of events being pushed here, but on other deaths tied to ICE, where the official story went largely unchallenged.
The agents surround the silver car. The driver reverses the vehicle. The officer on the passenger side can be seen pointing his weapon as the driver attempts to flee the scene. As the car drives away, the agent on the driver's side can no longer be seen in this video. In a different surveillance video, 2 gunshots can be heard as the vehicle drives away.
DHS describes the individual as a criminal illegal alien with a history of reckless driving, though a review of Villegas Gonzalez's publicly available records by NBC News found no criminal charges.
DHS's story doesn't add up. A man is dead, a family is shattered, and the agency responsible keeps hiding behind masked thugs and unmarked cars. ICE and DHS have no credibility, and neither do their stories. They've lost it.
And these ICE agents aren't even vetted.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement has placed new recruits into training before being fully vetted as part of the hiring surge to meet President Trump's mass deportation goals. Some recruits had criminal backgrounds, failed drug tests, or did not meet physical or academic standards. What's more, some recruits had not submitted fingerprints for background checks. One recruit had prior charges for strong-arm robbery and battery. Additionally, nearly half of recruits failed the written exam, even with access to notes and textbooks. ICE has shortened its training program from 13 weeks to 6 weeks to accelerate the onboarding process. That'll bring in a $50,000 signing bonus.
We are giving convicted felons the authority to do whatever they want. The Chicago governor tried to fight this. He wanted to at least hold these ICE agents accountable for their brutality.
It is imperative that none of the impropriety, brutality, and harassment perpetrated upon our people goes unnoticed. When the time comes, Illinois will have the testimony and the records needed to pursue justice to its fullest extent.
But Stephen Miller put a stop to this very quickly.
J.B. Pritzker could be arrested. Let's talk about your willingness and under what federal authority do you arrest a sitting governor? I understand the supremacy clause. I understand interference with a federal officer. Tell me how it works that he would make himself susceptible to being arrested.
Well, the answer I'm about to give doesn't only apply to Governor Pritzker. It applies to any state official, any local official, anybody who's operating in an official capacity who conspires or engages in activity that unlawfully impedes federal law enforcement conducting their duties. So if you engage in a criminal conspiracy to obstruct the enforcement of federal immigration laws or to unlawfully order your own police officers or your own officials to try to interfere with ICE officers or even to arrest ICE officers, you're engaged in criminal activity. To all ICE officers, you have federal immunity in the conduct of your duties. And anybody who lays a hand on you or tries to stop you or tries to obstruct you is committing a felony. You have immunity to perform your duties, and no one, no city official, no state official, no illegal alien, no leftist agitator or domestic insurrectionist can prevent you from fulfilling your legal obligations and duties. And the Department of Justice has made clear that if officials cross that line into obstruction, into criminal conspiracy against the United States or against ICE officers, then they will face justice.
And so did Pam Blondie.
If you are telling people to arrest our ICE officers, our federal agents, you cannot do that. You're impeding an investigation, and we will charge them if they think they have not met me, because we will charge them if they are violating the law.
I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry.
We have cities that are troubled, and we're sending in our National Guard, and if we need more than the National Guard, we'll send more than the National Guard, because we're going to have safe cities. We're not going to have people killed in our cities, and whether people like that or not, that's what we're doing. And you've been watching what our missiles do to boats and ships and submarines. How about the submarine?
Quite a few ICE agents parade around town wearing these patches. This symbol in particular has been adopted by extremist groups, including some white supremacist movements. Because of that, agencies are expected to avoid such symbols in official use, but like all common decency laws, this one is also overlooked. Some of them even have Nazi tattoos. Remember a few moments ago when I told you that an ICE officer shot a man? Well, it's not the first time that happened, and it's not the first time that ICE lied about it. ICE opened fire at a truck with kids inside during a vehicle stop in San Bernardino. ICE agents claimed that they had to shoot because the vehicle was running down officers, but that didn't happen. Here's the real video.
What do you want? What do you want? Identification. No, la voy a abrir. Hey, you can't do that.
According to Mike Johnson, ICE doesn't do anything wrong.
Where's the limit for you on what's acceptable conduct for federal law enforcement, and when is it incumbent on Congress to step up and demand oversight?
To demand oversight on federal law enforcement? Well, I've not seen them cross the line yet, and that we have committees of jurisdiction who have that responsibility, but it's not risen to that level. What I've seen is the abuse of law enforcement by radical leftist activists. Most recently, the most threatening thing I've seen yet was the naked bicyclers in Portland who were protesting ICE down there. I mean, it's getting really ugly. You're supposed to be on the side of the good, not the crazy radicals.
More recently, Americans have been watching videos of ICE tackling a young mother, tear gas being used in a Chicago residential neighborhood, and the smashing of car windows. Have some of these raids gone too far?
No, I think they haven't gone far enough, because we've been held back by the judges, by the liberal judges that were put in by Biden and by Obama.
So let's recap. ICE is terrorizing people. We know of at least one homicide cover-up. I'm sure there's more. Police aren't able to intervene when they see ICE beating someone up to a bloody pulp. Trump wants to send in more troops, possibly more than troops, even though the courts are stopping him. Our own troops probably won't be able to interfere in ICE's authority, so why send them at all? Well, I'll tell you, it's so our National Guard can protect ICE, not protect us, the citizens, but protect ICE. There's going to be a lot of confusion about who is an ICE officer, who's police, who's the federal guard, who's a state trooper, who's the FBI. All of these uniforms look the same to an untrained eye. But ICE is allowed to wear vests that say police. Even though they are hired thugs, they're allowed to dress as military. They don't wear uniforms, they wear costumes. This is what Trump wants. He wants us to be confused. He wants us to not know who to trust. This way he could pull off his ultimate plan, and that is to interfere with elections.
I would love to do it.
Senator, is it constitutional for President Trump to run for a third term? He's teasing that.
If you read the Constitution, it says it's not. But if he says he has some different circumstances that might be able to go around the Constitution, but that's up to him. We got a long way to go. Don't ever close the book on President Trump.
Why do you think he's going to steal the election?
What I'm telling you is you can just look back in his own history, that back to 2020, after the election, when he claimed fraud, he claimed it had been stolen from him. And he and Michael Flynn discussed, and Michael Flynn very publicly talked about, maybe we should use troops and go in and seize the ballot boxes and count the votes. You don't think Donald Trump heard that and thought maybe that's a good idea? And here we are. He's sending troops onto the streets of American cities, into blue states in blue cities, and he's calling it about crime, but that's not at all what it's about.
This now that you are somehow challenging the integrity of the next election?
No, he is challenging the integrity of the next election, but yes, he is challenging the integrity of the next election by sending troops into our cities. That's what I believe this is about. It isn't about fighting crime. He said he's going after the worst of the worst. That is not what they're doing. They are literally going after black and brown people because of the color of their skin.
Going to get a third term. So Trump 28. Trump is going to be president at 28, and people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is, but there's a plan. He's a vehicle of divine providence. He's an instrument.
He's making it so that his own personal militia can stand guard at polling stations. They'll be allowed to question anybody casting a ballot because we don't know if we're talking to the police or the National Guard or ICE agents. He actually tried this at one polling station 5 years ago just to see how the public would react.
The sheriff told me that the persons who were dressed in these security uniforms had indicated to sheriff's deputies that they belonged to a licensed security company. And they indicated, and this has not been confirmed yet, that they were hired by the Trump campaign. The sheriff and I take this very seriously.
I'm urging my supporters to go into the polls and watch very carefully because that's what has to happen. I am urging them to do it.
President Trump has been calling for an army of poll watchers to monitor election sites.
We're going to have sheriffs and we're going to have law enforcement and we're going
His goons, who are being paid with our tax dollars, can stuff ballot boxes just like Putin. They won't do it in public like what they do in Russia, but they're going to seize ballot boxes, taking them to discrete locations so they can be dismantled and tampered with. Just by them standing outside with automatic rifles, questioning all the minorities, might do the job of intimidating voters to leave the queue.
Official poll watchers were appointed to go to the polls and make sure that no fraud and intimidation was taking place. But there was also unofficial poll watching, and unofficial poll watching developed very quickly in the 19th century into often a form of voter suppression and intimidation.
Some of the most notorious acts of voter intimidation took place in the 1950s and 60s as Black Americans fought for their voting rights. Then, in 1981, a political scandal broke out when the Republican National Committee sent a ballot security task force to predominantly Black and Latino neighborhoods in New Jersey. They posted warning signs like this one near the polls.
Allegations that minority voters were intimidated by task force workers have surfaced in several cities.
Republican poll watchers, some of them off-duty policemen wearing guns and armbands, were also near the polls.
Angelo Genova was a lawyer for the Democrats. They sued for voter intimidation and discrimination, and a settlement required the Republican National Committee to get court approval for future ballot security plans. That settlement, or consent decree, was invoked again after other allegations of Republicans intimidating or excluding minority voters. It expired in 2017, making 2020 the first presidential election in 40 years where the Republican National Committee is able to conduct poll watching without court supervision.
The Republican National Committee recruiting some 50,000 poll watchers across the country.
We need every able-bodied man, woman, to join Army for Trump's election security operation.
And with so many people stepping up to the plate to yell at these guys, things will no doubt escalate. The law is crystal clear. It is completely illegal to have any sort of federal officer or federal troop around a polling station. They're not allowed to be there unless there's an actual shootout. But Trump is sinister enough to find loopholes because he just loves putting us in danger. Why do you think Trump is so against mail-in ballots? It's for this very reason, so he can intimidate people as they vote. He wants there to be astronomical amounts of anarchy on Election Day, just so he could send his goons. He's already trying to do this, but only in blue states. The administration frames this as general oversight to ensure transparency, ballot security, and compliance with federal law. California's Attorney General Rob Bonta, he's sending in his monitors to monitor Trump's monitors. Yesterday, November 2nd, immigration officials have said they won't target the polling stations unless there is a person there who looks like they might be an illegal alien. They said this. Their exact words were, if a dangerous criminal alien is near a polling station, they may be arrested as a result of that targeted enforcement action. Yeah, so there's the loophole right there that they're going after people who might be illegal aliens trying to vote. And any educated person will tell you that that is impossible. If you're not worried about anything because people can just mail in their ballots, well, you should think again, because the Trump administration is working on an executive order to eliminate all mail-in ballots. That's the end of my video, and it was sort of terrifying researching all this and putting it all together, and it's scary. And I'm making this video mainly for my dad. Dad, I hope this is sinking in. I know I make you watch these videos that I make just so you could see what's happening in the world that you don't see on Fox News or Newsmax. This is what's actually happening, and I hope it's sinking in. I don't know how many more, how much more that you need to see, but I'm going to keep making these videos. Okay, here's another video right here that is similar to this one, and it just has different clips. It's a little different, but yeah, you can check that one out too. All right, bye y'all. Thanks for watching.
Yeah!